Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers, you. Welcome to another video. Yes, I'm on my way back from the hospital this time. I've already dropped him off. So let's get into the next video. Right then, so Rachel Reeves. Rachel Thieves, Hair by Lego. Rachel from Accounts, whatever you want to call her. I personally like the dickhead who's fucking the economy up. Because that's the one that fits the best. By far. By a country mile, that one fits best, yeah? Now, of course, it's everybody else's fault that the economy is collapsing. I mean, let's be honest, we started it with we've got a £22 billion black hole, which, of course, after a bit of a scrutiny, was found to be absolute horse shit. Didn't exist. They'd already created at least 18 billion of that by their pay deals to their besties buddy mates in the unions. So, which was always a good start. That got everything going off to a cracking retort. But of course, that's not the main problem. It was the Tories. It was the Tories' fault that we were in a situation that we're in. Right, okay, so we'll just pretend to give them that. Even though everybody in financial circles was like, literally, I haven't got a clue what you're on about. What black hole? There isn't one. But who am I? We'll take it as it was. So they have a £22 billion black hole, which was an excuse used to, let's be brutally honest, completely destroy the employment industry and start causing hundreds of businesses to go bust. But as long as it wasn't on the actual worker, we didn't increase your national insurance. We increased it in your company, you've got to pay it, and lowered the threshold of which they've got to pay it, which went down like a lead balloon. So although we haven't directly taxed you, we fucked your company up so you haven't got a job. But of course that wasn't their fault, because they never taxed the working man. We didn't change the taxes like we promised. We just changed all the other taxes that indirectly affect you. But that's okay. Everything's good. So, now she's realised by the catastrophic ideas there. First, we decided we want to freeze the pensioners. So that was going to save 1.9 billion or something like that. But then once they managed to get all the people on that should be on pension credit, it actually worked out that they lost money on it. It actually cost them. So that didn't work, which is why, ignore what they're saying, they put it back, because it's actually more cost effective to pay the pensioners than it is to do it their way, because that costs the government money. But okay, we've learned from that lesson. Next thing we did was, out of a policy of pure petty revenge, we're going to get rid of the exemption. It's not exemption on private schools. They're going to pay 20% VAT, because everybody should be equal, and the money that will raise will mean that we can spend it on the schools. So we got to the schools, they did that. Did they raise the money? Did it change the money? No, it didn't, because what actually happened, which is what was always going to happen, is the schools closed. Now, she said, this was Bridget Phillipson, it's only going to affect 3,000 kids. It's at 40,000 now, potentially going up to 53,000, if not even higher. Because it doesn't work. Because the schools closed. You see, if you put VAT on schools, they can't, because everybody lives in this fantasy world that people who send their kids to private school are rich. They're not. There are a lot of people who send their kids to private school and suffer. And they just couldn't afford it. Because they couldn't afford it, they couldn't afford to send the kids, so the money wasn't going in, so the school closed. And then all these kids now come out of school and have to go back into mainstream school, which haven't got the places for them. Because they can't cope with what they got. And the group of people this affects the most is SEND kids, because they have to go to private schools, because only private schools can provide the educational needs they've got, because the state schools can't do it. So now they've got to go back in to the state school system that couldn't deal with them in the first place, didn't have the skill set to do it. So now they're back in there, but they can't get in there because there isn't any places. Doing well so far. So now the next idea is, oh wow, you see, it works so well with the schools and reduced the education budget. Oh, and I forgot to mention, of course, is the money that they did raise, which was hardly anything, didn't go to schools. It went to housing instead, to build more houses for immigrants. Right, okay, so there's that. I'm getting there so far. Right, okay, sorted, nice one. So then she went, well, that works so well, I think we'll do that on private healthcare. We'll put 20% tax on private healthcare because it's, everybody should be treated equal. So now all the people who could just about afford to get their knee operation done on the private can't. So now guess what? That's right, they're now back on the NHS waiting list, which has now tripled. Because if you stop people having private healthcare, that means they've got to go to the NHS, which is falling apart because it can't fucking cope with what it's got. Another master stroke. Oh, and by the way, because that happens, no one pays for private healthcare, so you gain fuck all. So again, it's something else, a brilliant idea that she came into power with, and that'll get loads of money, and it's actually end up costing the government more because now they're all waiting to go in the NHS. It's good, isn't she, so far? Old Rachel from accounts, fucking brilliant. It literally is, and I've said this before. It's like somebody comes up with an idea, just an idea, and they go, well, what about, no, that'll do. It sounds great. Yeah, but have we done any cost-effective, any cost of that or potential impact? No, it'll be fine. Just do it. It's all good. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Everything's wonderful. Yeah, but it's not working, is it? Yeah, but that's beside, don't worry about that. That's beside the point. And then they go, after about 6 months, this has ended up costing us more money and it's not working. Oh, well, what we'll do is we'll just raise taxes again to compensate. And that's what she's doing with house building. And I haven't even touched, remember, the farmers and their inheritance tax, which is causing farms to go bankrupt left, right and centre. Oh, and then don't forget they've done something really nice, which I've only just recently learnt about, which I think is great. So they changed the car tax rules. As in, if you owned a crew cab pickup truck, like the Toyota Hilux has got like a row of seats behind and still got the pickup, that's still classed as a pickup. Not anymore. No, you can't have that as a pickup anymore. Because it's got seats in it and you're just using it as a tax charge. So that now has been put up to, normal rate. So whereas you were paying £1,000, just over £1,000 to tax your Toyota Hilux, it's now £4,000. So that's screwing the farmers over again, because the farmers really could do with a vehicle that can have something, you can put something in the back, pick up, but also every now and again, ship your family around. No, you're not allowed to do that. So that's that. Forgot about that. So there's that as well. And that's working brilliantly not at all. So then what happens? Oh, right then. We've now come up with this new idea that stamp duty is a bit of a problem because we only get it once. So when we buy a house, you pay stamp duty. And that's it. Well, no. The new idea she had was when you buy your house, you pay stamp duty. When you sell your house, you pay stamp duty. Now, somebody finally somewhere in the Labour government went, you do realise that means no one's going to sell their houses, so we won't get any money. Okay, someone with a brain finally has gone, that's not going to work, is it? No, it's not, she says. So what am I going to do? Oh, I know. What I'll do is, I'll charge you tax on your house. No, seriously, that's what she wants to do. She wants to tax you every year for the privilege of owning your own house. So, if your house is worth over £500,000, which, let's be honest, for quite a lot of houses nowadays, that's a lot of houses, you will be expected to pay 0.54% a year. And that's on everything. So, if your house is worth £1 million, you've got to pay 0.54%. So, in real terms, at the 500,000 one, if I remember quite rightly, it's about £2,700 odd extra a year in tax because you own that house. But If you own $1 million, you've got to pay the same amount. So that's 5,600 and something, roughly. I can't remember the exact figures. Every year for owning your house. Now, you've got a house, you've bought it, £500,000, and it needs a bit of work on it. Yeah, you think, well, I could do this, that, and the other, or it wouldn't be nice to have a conservatory on. And then you go, but hold on a minute, that'll put the price of the house up, and I'll have to pay more tax. So I'm not going to do that. So all the home improvement people are going to go out of business because no one's going to do that. Now, the other thing, of course, is which I have vested interest in, because I rent a house. So if they're doing that, am I going to have to pay 0.54% extra on my rent every year to compensate for my fucking house? Because my landlord's got to pay that because they own the house. Oh, but don't worry, he says, it's only going to happen on, if we do it, we're only talking about it, it's going to happen. But what will happen is only if people buy the houses after a certain amount of time. So if you've already bought your house, it doesn't apply. So guess what that's going to do? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to sell your house, are you? Because you don't want to get the, oh, well, you've just moved in stamp duty shit, and then you've got to pay your 0.54%. So that's going to result in, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, yet again, no income from an ideal tax system. Why is the economy not growing so well? Because, you see, you need people to spend money for the economy to grow. And if you're making sure that we've got no money in our pockets, even though you swear blind, you stupid bint, that we have, if we're thinking, I mean, it's like now, every year we go away on holiday. Next week I am. And then while we're away on that holiday, we think about next year's holiday, because it's usually good, cheap, buy early. I'm not doing that this year. Why? Because we're terrified what's going to happen in October. Because we don't know whether or not we're going to be able to afford it. So we may lose our main summer holiday this year. Because we try and get away 3 times a year. We don't spend an awful lot. We always get good deals. So that gives you the idea. So we haven't got the money. Now, the other way you generate money by spending money is buying and selling houses. But that's not going to happen, because if you did that, you've got to pay more tax. So, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, you ain't going to buy and sell your house. So that bit of the market collapses because no one's doing anything. And this is in just over a year. Our economy is literally about to fall apart. We, as a country, are going to be bankrupt. And our Chancellor and all those in the Treasury still can't seem to figure out why. And still keep sending millions and billions abroad to help them fuckers out while we are literally collapsing. I've got a £50 billion black hole. Well, if you add it up and a rough total of all the money that she sent since Labour coming to power to the Ukraine and everywhere else for all this sort of stuff, they've sent out over £102 billion abroad. We've got a £50 black hole. Well, you fucking wouldn't, would you? If you hadn't sent it everywhere, we'd be up 50 bill. And then you wouldn't have to do it. You could make tax cuts. Actually put actual real money in people's actual pockets, who will then go out and spend it. Reduce red tape and taxation on houses so people can buy and sell them. That gives you more money. Cut all the red tape on businesses so more people can get jobs, more people can work, and therefore they've got more money to spend. And it works. You all moan about this trust budget would have worked. Even the Bank of England has said, actually, we did that. We fucked that up. That would have worked. It would have worked, and we'd have all been richer, and we wouldn't have been in the situation we are. But the Bank of England wouldn't let it happen, because they can't let us plebs have any money, can they? Bastards. Let's go right. Any case, enough of that. I'm done. Because I literally, my 8-year-old daughter understands how things work better than Rachel. Any case, enough of that before my brain literally freaking melts. Ways to support the channel down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.